I'm Tanim Ahmed, Special Correspondent of Dhaka Tribune. I have with me Afsan Chowdhury, researcher, journalist, commentator. Afsan, looking ahead to the next year, it will have been 10 years that the current Awami League regime has been in power. No other regime in Bangladesh has been in power that long in consecutive 10 years. And this will be the election year. The elections will be in early January next year, the year before next. So 2019 January we see the elections. The entire next year should be devoted to campaigning and so on and so forth. Now, to begin with, you've mentioned there's a climate of fear with the disappearances and reappearances and the obvious clampdown on dissent and so forth. Do you see this continuing through the next year, given that it will be full with election campaigns and all kinds of debates and discussions and all that?
No, of course not. I think the fact that people are coming back shows that whoever is taking them away realize that they can't be held for too long in an election year. And I'm sure the government has made that point that you don't have too many disappearances in an election year. And one of the best way of doing is better quality policing. So whichever way it happens, we are very happy that it's an election year and people have come back. But many people haven't come back. So that matter of disappearances will remain a factor. It's an embarrassment for the party in power. After 10 years, you can't say you are not responsible. That is the whole point. The largest sum. It is the middle class which is being affected by many of these policies. All the disappeared are all from the middle class, urban middle class. There has been a fundamental shift in Bangladesh's demography and economics of the demography. So we have the rural middle class who are very strong, who have come in, and no matter how much we dislike, we have to accept the change in rural society, culture, and economics. And Hifazat is one indicator of why Hasina was ready to make deals with them. Hasina didn't deal with Hifazat from a position of weakness. She dealt with them from a position of strength. But she recognized that the traditional middle class, the liberal, left, Tagorean middle class is more or less over. And they no longer provide her with the kind of strength, the strength which her father enjoyed before 1971. That is going to be a major factor. The rural votes are going to matter. It's not the urban scene, though urban population is exploding. Rural people, first generation migrants, who are a significant part of that vote. You can always manipulate them or use them, or you don't know how they are going to behave. But I think they will be influenced. Hasina has accepted that. I think she's the smartest politician we are seeing in a very long time, who knows how to play the game as it should be played can be played in Bangladesh or should be played in Bangladesh. Awami League has traditionally got 30% votes, and 30 to 35. Awami League didn't get that vote. BNP has about 10 to 15. And BNP got around that. Now, who votes BNP to power there? It's the anti-Awami League vote. The anti-Awami League vote went to JP, and usually the case, but BNP was a minor player in this. If same thing was in Narayanganj, it's the anti-Awami League vote that helped a lot when Selina Hayat won the first time. It's not it's not BNP vote. BNP vote is significantly less. So, anti-Awami League feeling, how strong is it? It is quite strong. Not because Awami League is a bad party or BNP is a good party, but simply after 10 years you can't expect it. 10 years is a liability now for Awami League, because all the thieves and the crooks have all gone to Awami League. Because if you want to make money in this country, you better belong to Awami League, because they've been in power for such a long time. I think that has impacted, and I think that will determine.
Do you see this, as things stand now, do you see this to be a defining election in terms of whether it will be under a caretaker government or a political government, and one that is participated by pretty much all the parties? Because the last one couldn't be considered such. BNP wasn't in the elections, and it was under a political government. But this time, if it is under a political government and you still have elections, all parties are in it, it will set a sort of a precedence for pretty much all the players. How do you see that?
I think the election commission is much stronger, and I think if you're going to have any kind of a credible election, you're going to have an election commission which is strong. There's no way out of that. With the election, if keeping BNP in is important because it doesn't look good if the main opposition is not there. And I think BNP also knows that. So is BNP ready to face the fact that it may not win the election but has to participate? I'm not so sure. But my personal feeling is that the Army League knows it is slightly weaker than before, or maybe a little more than slightly weaker, but it thinks it is definitely stronger than the BNP. BNP thinks it's going to win the vote as soon as it goes, but I think the people in the BNP, who the think tank or something, they say, even if we don't win the election, we at least will be there. I think that is very important. So I think there will be an election. As to what will happen as the result, I have no way of knowing. It will be a reduced majority for Army League. That is what everyone is saying. I don't know. But I think for everyone's sake, we have a functioning parliament. Because right now, there is nothing to stand between the executive and the people. Suddenly, the executive is everything. The legislature, because it is a malfunctioning or dysfunctional legislature, there is no place for public representatives' intervention. This is the major weakness of the situation. Now, what would happen if I can't go to my MP and complain, and an MP is so strong he can call the police and say, look, don't harass him or whatever. Why don't we have a shot where the MP can say, you can't keep on filing cases after cases after cases. All this can be taken care of if there is a stronger sanction. This strong sanction is a liability for Army League. Army League realizes it also. I think BNP realizes it also. BNP has to come in. BNP's major weakness, of course, is that in 2014, BNP politicians wanted to contest the election, but the leader and the leader's son was not interested. And a group of militant radicals within BNP. I think they must realize if they miss this boat, whether winner or loser, they are practically out of politics.
Now, with both the leading women, Sheikh Hasina and Khaleda Zia, are becoming quite old, do you see this election to be one which will probably bring in younger leadership?
I think the younger leadership will hopefully. I remember I was at a talk show with young Army League and young BNP, and they're more concerned about saying what would make them look good, rather than saying what they thought they should say. I think it means that internal democracy doesn't exist in either parties, and it's fine if you have a fantastic leader, as both parties have, and I think Sheikh Hasina is a very strong leader, but what happens when they are absent? I think none of the parties are ready for a post-Khaleda, post-Hasina politics.
Thank you very much, Afsan.
Thank you.
And that'll be all.